Hey guys, we soon gonna talk about the vision and why the vision is over for
Tired of being
good.
humble. I'm
We're gonna
tired of
really
letting people think they
get
got a
into it. We're
chance.
gonna talk
The
about it.
tribal chief
Check
is
out the
head
intro.
and shoulders above everybody.
All right, guys, we back here. We are back. We here in the building. You got the Turnbuckle King in the building, and I got Good Bread Wrestling with me. We're gonna talk about today why the vision needed to end early. You guys, we about to air some dirty laundry on this one. All right. On Monday Night Raw. Well, I should say Monday Morning Raw. It was taped in Perth. We Division opened up Monday Night Raw. They opened with Seth celebrating his crown jewel victory championship victory over Cody Rhodes. He keep emphasizing on Roman Reigns need the shield, need the bloodline. I don't need anybody. I don't need anybody. So we saw the beginning of that. We saw that when he said that Bron Breakker looked kind of funny, he started scratching his ear, and Seth put the title up in a pyro hit, and we knew something was bound to happen. Later that night, Seth said, "I love you guys. Next to the birth of my child, next to me marrying my wife, you guys are flourishing the past 6 months. I appreciate everything y'all do." And Seth told Paul Heyman also that he could see something's about to happen. He said, I want to see what's going to happen in the next 6 months, the next year, next 18 months. Something's about to happen. Then afterwards, we see CM Punk, he wins the number one contendership match. He's going to face Seth Rollins I don't know if it's going to be Saturday main event or a Raw, whatever the case may be. He won triple threat against LA Knight and Jay Uso after hitting GTS and pinning Jay Uso. Seth in the Vision came out, they attacked all men, LA Knight and CM Punk. Except again, standing tall Vision, Seth with the time in the air and his music hit. We see the credits of Paul Levesque and Lee Finn, executive producer. We see the icon of WWE at the bottom left corner. But we see a weird thing. We see Seth standing tall, Bronson and Paul standing, but we see Braun breaking the corner and he got his back turned. We don't know why. Next thing you know, we think it's over. He spears Seth Rollins, and Paul looks shocked. Bronson not so much. And then Bron Breakker tell Bronson Reed, you gotta make a choice. What you gonna do? And Bronson didn't think twice. He pulled Seth over and hit with Tsunami. Then he gave Paul the ultimate. What you gonna do? And he raises both their hands. And Bron Breakker is holding the World Heavyweight Championship. Stand tall over Seth Rollins. Basically, we got a Judgment Day kind of thing. The early Judgment Day. Remember, Judgment Day turned on Edge of us, Damian Priest and Finn Balor and Rhea. It's similar to that, the way this breakup happened out of nowhere. So, the Vision's over. That lasted 6 months. Started with Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman line themselves at WrestleMania 41, WrestleMania main event, night one, where he betrayed both CM Punk and Roman Reigns in that event, and now it's over. So basically, Paul Heyman has turned on three men in the same year. He turned on not just CM Punk and Roman, but now Seth Rollins. So, Good Bread Wrestling, what is your take on this whole thing?
Man, yo, it made for some great TV. And I want to say right now, because of Raw last week, I thought that they wouldn't be able to put out another good Raw this week, but I was wrong. And that's part of the reason why I think that they hot shot it and broke this group up because they needed ratings. I think this was done for a ratings draw, and on top of the fact that, like we stated in other videos, this stable just wasn't hitting. It was not hitting. It was rinse and repeat. It had multiple storylines stolen from Judgment Day. It had the overall
Yes,
storyline was Bloodline. They tried to make Seth Rollins into this Roman Reign Machiavellian like character where
not
he
the tribal chief.
uses Yeah, where he uses his people and he get over and he beats them up, but gets the power and never shares the power, but he says he want to share the power. That was the whole tribal chief storyline. It just was more effective when the bloodline did it because again, Triple H knows how to use the family. He know how to use family and real couples, and he know how to get us invested when it comes to those type characters. But the Vision was not a family. The Vision was put together to give Paul Heyman something to do when Roman Reigns go on his vacation after WrestleMania.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Um, And Seth, other than the authority back in the day, Severn is not good with stables, bro. I'm gonna say it. People forgot when he did the Messiah. Great character. I didn't like to stay when he had Buddy Matthews and AOP and all that, and I think he had Austin Theory. He just don't hit with stables. It's not for everybody, and Seth Rollins is one of them because Seth is such a dominant character on his own. He's so established. He don't need a stable. He's one of them guys that don't need a stable. So
That's a fact. And we said this back when they made this stable. They had this stable created and never gave it a name. That's how I knew too it wasn't really an important
definitely
stable. Right. They were
no
booking
theme
this on the
song,
fly.
no theme song, no nothing. Like you didn't even explain the emphasis of the group until later. You said, "Oh, we're doing the vision now. We are the vision." We like you about 3, 4 months in already. You just not explaining who you are. This was created on the fly. It was not penciled in, as you say. So it just no. Now people saying, "Is this a ruse?" That's the main question. Is this a ruse? Because Seth has pulled the rules of the injury with the rules of the century with the money back cash it. This is a fake rules. If it is, it's a horrible way to do a storyline. So I would say no. This is not a fake thing. It's not fake. I don't think so. You don't just take the time be doing that. And
No,
also, it's
I
rumors.
can
Huh?
I can see why they might be saying that it's the injury because breaking the group up gives Seth a chance to sit out a little while. You get to take a load off of Seth with this
Hmm.
betrayal angle. But
Yeah.
I doubt it's a serious injury. Seth, let's get this straight. Seth is not 100%, and Seth don't care to be 100% because Seth is one of those wrestlers that he feel if he loses momentum, it's going to be hard for him to get it back. So I believe Seth has been wrestling all year with nicks and nagging injuries, but
Hmm.
he nothing serious to where he need to
Yeah, I agree.
relinquish the title or really get some surgery. The sad thing is they already ran this injury angle, so now we're going back into
Yes.
rinse and repeat if this was to be a work. And that's why I think this is not a work. The injury angle is not a work.
It's
Like,
not a
and I
work
don't
at
think
all.
he's hurt. I don't think he's hurt like that.
No, he's not hurt. He's a little banged up. I know he did the Spider Crown Jewel with the Coast to Coast. Yeah, he had a little dinged up, and I know he's been walking with the sling. He's selling that. He's not really out like y'all think he is. I don't think he's out like that. So we gotta take that into perspective. So
Yeah, like it was getting repetitive too. It was time. It was time, bro. Because to be honest with you, Seth Rollins didn't get none of those two guys over. Bronson
no,
Reed got himself over
we
by
got
beating,
themselves over.
yeah, by beating Roman Reigns, and Bron Breakker was getting himself over by just being who he is, coming to the ring, destroying and wrecking people with that
Yes,
spear. If
yes,
you
I
ask
agree.
me.
I agree. And that's what
So,
Paul Heyman half the time anyway. So I don't get how could he get him over and you barely with him. Seth, we saw you with your wife more than anything, bro. We didn't even see you with the vision. Paul Heyman
right.
was with them guys.
And aside from last night when he was talking and ranting about how he don't need nobody, remember there was an episode a while back, about 3 weeks ago, when he started to say this. He was him and Becky in there, and he was talking crazy. Seth Rollins was talking crazy. And I said it from that episode right there. I say, yo, they go the seeds. The seeds is being planted. They're gonna turn on
Yes,
Seth Rollins sooner than
yes,
later.
yes. I agree.
Now, one thing I do want to touch on is a lot of people is kind of anxious and they're worried that
Hmm.
division got split up at a bad time because we are going into Survivor Series War Games mode. But again, let me remind y'all guys, this is not the only fraction. It's not the only stable that we have on our roster. We still have the Wyatt Six and MFT, and we seen that fancy visual that they had last week at SmackDown with the lights glimmering and them guys with their face off. So we don't necessarily need the Vision or the Bloodline to be back in War Games, the War Games match. We can go with MFT and the Wyatt Six this year.
Yes, yes, yes. Because remember the MFTs are being rebranded. Solo been doing vignettes the past couple weeks, trying to sell the stable. They got the face paint.
Right.
Tomatoma
They
return.
got the wall
So
paint. Right. They all
yeah,
got the wall paint now.
and not just that. Solo goal is to regain the United States Championship, and he also wants. We saw the face off back. Like you said, he wants the MFT to get the tag team belts back. He wants to get the tag team belts.
Right.
So yeah, that's the whole thing. So the best way to push that is through War Games, the War Games
Yeah.
match.
So the way I see it is just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. And it's gonna be interesting to see which way they go with it. Cause I kind of like the break. I like the break. A lot of people is saying they don't like the group, but then they're mad that they broke the group up. If you don't like the group, if you never liked the group, then you shouldn't be mad at the breakup. You
Oh,
should
I'm
be
very
excited.
excited. I'm very excited they broke them up because it
Yeah,
was. No, if you ask me, not only it wasn't clicking, I was never on board. I think you said it too. I was never bored with Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman.
never.
I never saw the
Mhm.
chemistry. It wasn't like Brock and Paul, Roman and Paul, CM Punk and Paul. Them three men had chemistry with Paul Heyman. Most of us can agree on that. Paul Heyman had chemistry with Punk, Roman, and Brock. Undeniable. Seth Rollins, I didn't feel the same way. Like it was kind of off. It was like a bad relationship. It's like you with the wrong person.
You called it from the jump. You said Seth Rollins do not need a wise man, an advocate, a
Mm-mm.
mouthpiece, an oracle. He doesn't need it. Out of all of them, no, Seth Rollins and CM Punk needed Paul Heyman the least.
Yes.
And this is why, if you look at it according to the storyline, this is why CM Punk, he only requested Paul Heyman to walk him down the aisle at the main event. He didn't want Paul Heyman. He didn't want to buy Paul Heyman's services. He just wanted the one time off. Just like I thought, and I was under the impression that Seth Rollins bought Paul Heyman for one time only. Because
Yeah.
remember, he had Paul Heyman, he was going to stomp Paul Heyman,
Yeah,
and he
that's right.
saved
He
Paul
stopped
Heyman,
it.
and he
He
said,
stopped it.
"You get," and he said, "I need a favor." Now, Paul Heyman repaid him his favor at WrestleMania, and I thought that was going to be that. So I
Yeah.
never really was sold on this being a
Me either.
long term, how you say, because you raised a great point too. And that's where we're gonna go to next. Triple H has got to get better creative. He got to
Yeah,
get out
Triple
his
H.
head and he
Stop
gotta
making
stop rinsing,
stables.
repeating.
Yeah.
Stop rinsing, repeating. You
Yeah.
called
Stop
this a
making.
long time ago.
Yeah. Stop making stables that you're not gonna really do nothing with. I
And
don't. I
and
don't. Yeah.
and
Stop that.
stop reaching. Stop reaching for the old. Let what's old stay old. This was
Yeah.
not revolution. This was not evolution.
Yeah, it's not evolution, and we saw it from the beginning. Like he said, he elevated Braun and Bronson. You did it because what titles did Bronson and Braun Breakker hold in their vision? None. You ain't
None.
elevate them. When we saw Evolution back in the day, Randy Orton was the Intercontinental Champion. He held it for I think 7 months. He was elevated. Dave Batista was World Tag Team Champ with Ric Flair. That's elevating somebody. I didn't see that with no Bronson and Braun Breaker. You just and then too, I can't even say you use them to help you because you say you didn't need nobody. Like, why did you have them in the first place? They didn't do nothing for you. It's like,
Exactly, and and that goes back to what I said about Triple H. Triple H, stop trying to resurface old storylines. This was nothing but a knockoff evolution, and we
knockoff.
know Seth Rollins is your favorite. We know
Yeah.
something about Rhea Ripley and Seth Rollins with Triple H. You
Yep.
know what I mean? But Seth is his favorite, so Seth was supposed to be him, Triple
Yeah.
H, and then the rest of the people just fit in line.
Mm-hmm.
Batista turned out would have been the Bron Breakker because we seen
Yep.
Bron Breakker actually made the hit.
Yeah. Facts.
Several different ways this could have went. This could have went several different ways because I also was thinking maybe we have Bron Breakker win the Royal Rumble and now he
Yeah,
chooses to
that's true.
fight Seth. So we could
That
have
very
went,
well.
we could have went several different ways. If they was gonna extend this storyline, that's probably where they would have took it to. They would have probably took it to the Royal Rumble. Braun Breaker would have won. He would have then chose Seth the same way it played out in Evolution when Triple H got the thumbs down.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I could definitely see that.
But now with the fraction being broke up, now we get a chance to get new storylines. Now we get new opponents. You know what I mean? Now we get new Monday Night Raw matches to close the show because it was getting stale. Every week we saw the vision. Every week we closed the show with the vision.
Yep, you're right. Every week. Like enough already with it, you know what I mean? Enough with it. And then another thing I didn't like about the vision as well, um, it was no originality to it. Just plain and simple, no originality. And then too, what was the whole thing with Becky? Why was they still having Becky tied with the Vision after the tag team match? Well, up until this ending, up until this week, we saw Becky with Seth almost every week. What sense did that make?
I
I
told you
don't.
that when they first did it. When they first did it, they only used Seth, they only used Becky to engage in emotions because they booked themselves in a corner in that triple threat match. There is no way you have CM Punk, LA Knight, and Jey Uso, Seth Rollins in a match, and you know what I mean? So that right there should have never been booked because you
No,
can't pick a winner. Everybody has some type of momentum. So they backed themselves in the corner because you can't let nobody win clean. You
no,
already had Seth screaming, I don't need nobody. That was around the time when he first started to plant them seeds of being a narcissistic dummy. You know what I
yeah,
mean? He said, I don't need nobody. And then boom. Again, Triple H lacks creativity. He lacks character build. So he had to use the real life couple, the real life engagement of Seth and Becky to close that storyline. Then once you insert Becky into the storyline, you got to kind of run with her. You can't just have her disappear or it's going to look funny like how AJ Lee and CM Punk look right now. Where
yeah.
is AJ Lee? So this is why you
Can't be
saw
found.
Becky lingering around with the vision, but
Yeah,
never. No, I don't. Everybody just automatically put this woman into the vision because we are clamoring for a female in a stable again, like how we had Judgment Day with Rhea. We
right.
all wanted a female in Bloodline and didn't get it. So we were just hoping Becky Lynch was in this vision, but the vision wasn't even a vision. If you get my drift, the vision wasn't even an established,
Division.
really for real stable yet.
Division was just it was just an imaginary thing. If anything, it was imagination. I call imagination. Vision was an imagination, bro, that never took off. That's what I'll call it.
Now, do you see Brock Lesnar getting inserted into this whole fraction, this feud thing right here going on now? Do you see Seth going to Brock? Do you see Seth going to Roman?
I see Steph going to CM Punk or Roman. I see that. I don't see Brock and Steph having any interaction because it seems like Brock is limited. He limits to certain dates. I do see Brock getting back with Paul Heyman, and I think that's gonna cause dirt between Bron Breakker and Paul Heyman. But I do see that happening, but not with no Steph. Brock Lesnar is going to eventually try to regain a world title. I do see that
Right,
happen.
right. See, I have, yeah, you're right though. I have Brock on the other bracket over there with
Yeah,
Cody. I have
Cody.
Brock taking
Yeah, he
Cody
don't want
titles.
that. So let's keep it real. The world title is a secondary title, and it's never going to be the title everybody wants. You know, and we kind of knew that last year. when Seth Rollins, the champion, told Cody, "You should fight for my title," and all that other garbage. Like, if you got the title, you don't need to convince somebody to fight for it. Like Roman told Cody, "I'm not gonna beg you like the other guy. You gonna fight for number one, or you gonna fight for number two? That's the number two title. Then that be number one. It's a secondary title. If I was a wrestler in the business of WWE right now, and I want to be the world champ, the WWE champ, I'm saying I want the WWE belt, not the world belt. The world title is secondary. I mean, the guy that's booking the world title, he held that title. He was a secondary champion. I'll call it what it is. Triple H was a secondary champion most of his career. Most of his career, he was secondary champion. He was never the top champ.
And that's true. That's a fact right there. That is
Yeah,
definitely the number two title. That's the
yeah,
1B. That's the 1B title right there.
yeah. Who wants to be secondary champion? I want to be top champion. I want the belt Cody Rhodes has. I don't want the world title with that horrible design. Should have kept the big gold belt. Let's keep it real, man. That's not the top title everybody wants. So no, Brock Lesnar's going for that belt, and I don't blame him. But yeah, um, Paul's
And
going to
that's
be. Hmm?
lastly, right? Because I'm seeing that they're saying that a lot of people are saying that WWE did this for to generate some buzz because of the timing that Monday Night Raw went on. What's your take on that? That's believable. That's believable because I mean
Um,
every this was up and down on the timeline since 9 o'clock yesterday morning. Like that's all what everybody was talking about.
well, like you said earlier, the Netflix have been dwindling. Um, and I'm pretty sure Netflix is not pleased about it. We have to remember too, Raw and Netflix is on a 10-year deal, but Netflix has the option to opt out after five. So if they keep doing this for the next several years, it's not going to be a 10-year deal; it'll be a five. Um, but their ratings have definitely dwindled. Definitely. Some episodes are 2.6, 2.8, but they it rates not like it should be. And we've been hearing this since the beginning of the year. So hopefully the ratings continue to get better, the booking gets better. Um, one thing Triple H needs to stop doing as well as this booking, these stables. We need to stop all these back-to-back PLEs. I think that's ruining the booking as well because you can't really book a program leading to a PLE if you just had one 3 weeks prior. That's not going to help the show, and I think it helps the rate. It affects the ratings too. So we gotta stop that. Spread them out more. Spread out the PLEs amongst each other. I think that'd be better.
Right. And these are the things that affect the show that we don't think about when we get those international PLEs. We
Yeah,
forget that the time zone changes. So that
yeah,
Monday Night Raw or that SmackDown gonna be pretty much taped and gonna be thrown off. It's gonna be out there already. No
yeah.
element of surprise. We lose the element of surprise.
And fun fact, Raw has not hit 3 million viewership since the August 4th episode. Everything been 2.7, 2.3, 2.5, 2.6, maybe 2.9. So they have not hit 3 million in a good 2 months. Maybe this one, maybe this one will hit 3 million. Hopefully this Raw's 3 million one. Pretty sure with the turn. But they have not hit 3 million in a long time. That says a lot.
True.
Yeah. Because the debut episode was 5.9 million, almost 6 million views. And I knew when they set the bar that high that everybody's gonna expect that every week. And I said, you're not getting 5.9 million views every week. You're not even gonna get three. You're not even getting three. You got three for a little first couple weeks, but it's pretty much gonna be two. It's been sitting at the 2.5, average 2.5, 2.3. So they need to get work on the ratings. Work on that ratings real bad. Um, I mean, the prices and everything. So I don't know, but we're gonna see what's gonna happen to the division. I don't know what's gonna happen for WrestleMania. Does Bron Breakker beat Seth at WrestleMania? Does he win the Royal Rumble? Does he win a Chamber? Because that seems like that's next. The next up for it. Bron Breakker is set to win the world title for Seth. My thing is, what's he gonna do within this time frame now that the stable broken up 6 months earlier than it's expected to be reportedly? What does he do in the next 6 months? How do
My
you build?
thing is always, my thing is always, who's the heel and who's the face? Who's the heel and who's the face? Now, where do we go with that? Because we need to know these things. We know
Yeah,
Gunther will be coming back now. If
very
if if
soon.
if Gunther comes back heel, does Bron Breakker stay face? I mean, does Bron Breakker go to face, or do Bron Breakker stay heel?
And
And
Seth
then
go
and
face.
we bring and Seth go face or Gunther go face, because these are going to be the matches that we gonna get if Bron Breakker actually defeats and wins this title.
Yeah, and then aside from this turn, I mean, this Raw really was nothing else to talk about. Just like saved Raw. I mean, all we had was Dominique and Penta. Okay, we knew the outcome of that. There was really nothing spectacular happening on this Raw but this turn. I mean,
You are
Stephanie.
absolutely right.
Yeah, nothing. This Raw was not really all that great. It wasn't that good. It wasn't that good. This saved the show. So I'm just saying. I mean, what are they doing? You gotta build Braun Breaker to WrestleMania, and if they don't build him right, I'm gonna mark my words right now. If he don't get built right, he is going to be ruined later on. He got to get built right up until October right now, because this is supposed to happen like in a good January, beginning of next year. October all the way to WrestleMania, which is in April. You literally got 6 months to build this man, and I don't think
And
Triple H has it in him to build him right.
I know Triple H is not going to build this man right. Triple
No,
H got to be pulling out his hair right now because what happens with my guy? Yeah, my guy, LA
LA
Knight,
Knight.
should be the number one contender for this title right now.
Yeah, I'm
He was the
surprised Punk
last
won
person
that.
to beat
Yeah,
Steph. Yeah, and
yeah,
and
he
he
should have
only
won.
reason why CM Punk won is because we catering to that audience. CM Punk was the most over. He was the most over out of Yeet. Yeah, all you heard was CM Punk, CM Punk. So I can see that, but now it's all messy. It's all messy. The storyline is all messy. Are we gonna get Roman versus Seth, even though that don't need a title on the line?
You
But
don't.
are
You
we
don't.
gonna get Roman versus Seth for the title? Or are we gonna get Seth versus LA, Seth versus CM Punk versus LA Knight? What are we gonna get before we get to Braun Breaker holding the title? Because if we hot shot the title on Braun Breaker, then we got CM Punk left in the dirt, we got
Yeah.
LA Knight left in the dirt, and we got Jey
Mhm.
Uso left in the dirt.
And for the record, we seen this twice already. No more triple threats or four ways. I don't want to see that again. We saw it at WrestleMania, Seth, Roman, Punk. We saw Classic Paris, Seth against CM Punk, Jay, and LA Knight. I don't want to see that no more. Do not book that again. No more, no more three ways or four ways. No more of that. One
I'm
on
telling
one,
you,
please.
that
One
is
on one.
that is Triple H. That is Triple H staying in his comfort zone. We saw that all year with in NXT. Obafemi's whole reign was damn near a triple threat match to
Yeah, I'm
protect.
sick of that.
That's how you protect creative. It's easy booking.
Yeah, I'm tired of
It's
seeing triple
easy
threats.
booking.
Yeah, I don't want to see that no more. Like Steph needs one on one. That's how you do it, bro. I mean, Gunther, say what you want about him. He didn't do that in his title runs. Gunther fought you straight up one on one. Gunther rarely did a triple threat.
Right. Whether
If he has,
either he won or he lose or he
yes,
lost. But it wasn't
si-
none of this. I can't pick a winner, so we just gonna have a
yeah.
triple threat match.
And to be perfectly honest, that World Heavyweight Championship, that is not Seth's belt. That is Gunther's belt. Is he the best champion? Not Seth. It was Gunther. It's because you were the first on me, you were the best. That's Gunther's belt.
True.
Yeah, but
Gunther put prestige on that title. Gunther
yes.
put prestige on that title.
And he's the same man CM Punk beat to win the belt. That's why CM Punk looks strong for the 5 minutes until Seth cashed in. That Paul went through a grueling match beating Gunther. And that's why Jay looks strong. Jay beat him in his first run. Yeah, Gunther's the probable champion. Not no Seth Rollins. Yeah, but yeah, I want to see more. I want to see how they're gonna build. I'm afraid for Bron Breakker, man. I hate to say it. I'm afraid for Bron Breakker how they not gonna build this man up. If they build him right, good. But I don't think they will. That's my fear with Bron Breakker right now. Because this is supposed to be the future, as Paul Heyman said, the future multi-time WrestleMania main eventer. That's in stake right now. How do you do that? How are you going to do that to WrestleMania? Because he can't feud with Seth to WrestleMania. He's going to have to feud with somebody. He's going to feud with LA Knight, Punk. How do you build this man? That's just my fear right now. What are you going to do with this man? So that's all I have for the why the vision needs to end early, because it definitely needs to end early. And Raw was not all that good. It was subpar. This turn saved everything. If you don't want to admit it, it really saved everything. Did not it saved the show. But anything else you need to add, Good Red Wrestling?
Nah, but I do want to know what was the whole purpose of Seth with that big ass dumbass coat on yesterday? Like that was crazy. Like, did that
Yeah,
have
we'll talk
anything to
about
do
that.
with help? Did that help him take the tsunami? Did that help him take the spear?
That's what
Was
I'm
he
thinking.
tucking something?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out, but I just don't see it, man. Vision, I'm glad it's over because it was like really cringe at some point. It was cringe. It was the most cringe stable in all of WWE. RIP to the Vision, 25 to 2025 to 2025, 6 month run. Horrible. No more stables for Steph, man. No more stables, man. Stay on your own for the rest of your career, bro. Face the heel. I don't care what character you are. Don't bring no more stables into the mix. But that's all we have, guys. You guys let us know what you think of this whole Vision being betraying Seth Rollins, and we'll get more updates, see what else going on. Check out the content here, guys. And as usual, you already know what it is at this point. It is OU.